Good morning and welcome. It is Wednesday, the 27th of April. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. All right, coming up today, got quite a few things to go through. Got a review of yesterday. We've got today's bets, and I've done it as two bets, two lucky 15s, 3/4 stake. So it's £15 the bet. And then the golf. So I've had a real good look and revised the golfing bets that I'm doing for the channel. So I've got a golfing bet coming up, and it's going to be a £14 bet this week on the golf. So, I've also got some stats updates. So there were some questions and sort of thoughts last week, and I've done a little bit of data mining in my spreadsheets, and I've come up with some interesting thoughts around strike rate of different priced horses on the channel. So I'll come to that at the end as well for those that are into the stats. So yesterday, how did we do? We were knocking on the door. We got the door ajar at least yesterday. So overall, I made it 10 on 1989 back. So nearly doubled our money yesterday. And that puts us, because we lost on Monday, I think 384 down for 2 days. So all to play for still. So the top one, basically, as far as I'm concerned, ran to form. So none of the newcomers performed that well. It ran to form, and it was just massively overpriced at 50-1, Canterswell. Then 2:30 Australian Harbour. As most of you will realise, gutting, horse withdrawal at the start. Whether you believe that's just coincidence or you're cynical about the fact that an 8-runner race and a short price favourite and the each way market got wrecked because a horse got withdrawn at the start, I don't know. It's up to you. The reality was that horse was third. The odds-on favourite was second, and then a horse I would not have picked went and won at like 20-1. It was a big improver. So annoying, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Then Lunar Display slightly underperformed. The other horses in the market ran to form, and therefore it was a bit adrift really. It was fifth, paid out fourth on Sky Bet. Most bookies would have been third. So on paper it wasn't far away. It was fifth. It was a bit of a distance though. And then 450 Sit Down Lucy. It was like being on a roller coaster, that one. The amount of horses that were falling and knocking into each other. It managed to get over the line in fourth. SP to 8. I had 11s on the channel with a Rule 4 10p deduction. So overall 1989. So we had the 25p each way lucky 15, but importantly, I had an each way double on the two horses that placed. So I'm hoping that those of you took the advice and doubled up on those two, because it would have made a real difference to the outcome of the bet. And then Chucky was rubbish. Basically, that was as much as we can say about that. There's no win bets today. Just be relieved, all right? No win bets. I'm not going to put people through the misery of it at the moment, because it's not happening for me on win bets. We'll just stick to what we're mainly doing on the channel, which is the each way value. So each way today. Two bets, two lucky 15s. One is a have a go lucky 15. The second one is my main bet. That's how I describe it. So this is I'm having a go at the prices lucky 15. There has been quite a bit of movement overnight, which it happens. It's frustrating. So 150 Ascot, no extra places there. Linden B 25s. I think it's worth a go at that price. 3 o'clock Ascot, it's a 6-runner race. Star from Afar, 9-1. You could have got 20s on that last night, which was ridiculous. I think it's a really competitive race. Pretty much anything in that race can win. There's not really a rank outsider, so the fact it was 20s was silly. 9-1 is a much fairer price, and I'm happy to keep it in the bet even at 9s. Then we've got 5-10 Ascot, Seneca Chief. That was a bit higher last night, 16s now. And then the 6:15 at Musselburgh ex Checker, that was 33s last night, 22s now. So apart from the top one, the other three have all come in overnight. I'm still happy enough with the prices, but as I've said, I'm having a go at the prices here because I think there's a bit of value in the prices, but these aren't the best bets I've ever put out, is what I would say. So that's my kind of number 2 lucky 15. And number 1 bet for the day is this. So 340 Punchestown. Don't be fooled into thinking that's the best race of the day necessarily. 25 runners and first 6 on Sky Bet is good. 5 on other bookmakers. So on other bookmakers, that's a 1 in 5 chance you've got of getting a horse in the frame. those odds aren't the best. So you will get value because the prices are going to be bigger because it's a big field. But just be wary of that. I wouldn't go too big on that race. It's not as good as what you might think it is because they're paying so many extra places. It's difficult to pick a horse. In the end, I've gone for Who's Got You Now, 12-1. That's been nibbled in a bit overnight as well. That's where I've gone for it, but just put that in the bet as leg one. 5:30 Pontifax, Susie Javia. That's my horse of the day, really. It was much bigger price at some points when the book opened yesterday, but I'm still think 11-1 is a really good price. It's not massive, but it's a good price. Then we go 7:05 Punchestown, The West's Awake, 25-1. And then the 7:25 Musselburgh Cora Pick 14s. That again is coming. Most of the horses I've picked today have come in at some point, apart from one, I think, or two. Yeah, one. So we've done it as 25p each way, lucky 15. We've got an additional 50p each way single on Susie Javia. And then we've got an additional 25p each way double on the bottom two, West's Awake and Cora Pick. That is bet 2. All right, that is the horses. If that's all you're here for, you have a lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow. If you want the golf, stay on the line. If you want the stats, stay on the line. Actually, I'll do the stats. I'm just going to do the stats quickly first because they are horse-related stats. So there was a kind of a question of thought last week, which I'm really happy to kind of think about and do, because everybody's entitled to their opinion. I've got an opinion, you guys have got an opinion. And it was kind of questioning around what's the difference really between, is my strike rate a bit better for shorter price horses than bigger price horses? And so I started to look at some of the data, and I've only done April, so to be fair, so that's all I've done is April, and I've only looked at the bets where I took a price. And what it shows is, for April, bear in mind April's not been our best month, we took 100 horses that were, start again, 100 horses 11-1 or lower, and 127 horses 12-1 or higher. So of the 11-1 or lower, we're running at a 37.5% strike rate, win or place. And for the ones, the 12-1 or more, it's a 30.7% strike rate. So 30.7 for anything 12-1 or more, and a 37.5 for under 12-1. So what it shows is that the horses that are shorter in price, we've got a slightly better strike rate, but actually there's not a massive difference when you consider the average on the channel is 35%. And we're running 30.7% strike rate with horses that are 12-1 or more. And within there are a few anomalies. So 22-1, for instance, I've had 12 horses in April at 22-1. 6 of them placed, 6 of them didn't. That's a really, really good strike rate. 12-1. We had 1 winner, 6 places, and 6 dots. So there's a few anomalies like that. It looks particularly good. And then 66-1. We've had 4, 1 placed, 3 didn't. 50-1, 1 placed, 4 didn't. So generally, what it's telling me, and I'll do at some point I've got time. I'll go through it in a bit more detail with the other months. But if you just look at April, actually, it's pretty decent, I would say. I'm not looking at that thinking, gosh, I shouldn't be hitting higher prices. So I think the question and the thought is really valid. Anything like that, I'm really happy to kind of take here, and I'll go and have a look and find the answer. But I was quite pleasantly surprised because actually it's not that price sensitive on this channel. So just because the price is bigger doesn't mean it's got a massively lesser chance of coming in. It might do from a betting market point of view, but because of the way I'm picking the selections and the research that I'm doing, you're not finding the variance that you would find normally. Because if you actually look at the percentage of horses that are 12-1 or more that come in the frame, that is a lot less than 30%. And I'd imagine most average punters out there taking prices are not going to get 30% of their 12-1 or more shots winning or placing. So interesting. Hopefully that makes sense. Any more questions like that, shove them in the comments and I'll give you an answer. Right, now I'm going to get the golf because I've got quite a bit to go through the golf. 3 pages of the golf. So apologise if for some of you just want a couple of golfers and that's it. Noting that I know some people aren't interested in the golf and you've already left, so that's fine. Right, what are we doing today? So I'm going more golfers, spreading the stake a little bit, and I've also done a few side market bets as well. So this isn't me like having an experiment in life. This is me sort of experimenting on the channel a little bit more. So some of these bets you'll have seen me do a little bit before. I did one of the bets. I did a bit. I did one of the Masters. So let's get cracking. What we got? So the Catalonia Championships is where I put more of my stake. So that on the European Tour, I've done more there than I have on the other tournaments. So we've got there. Some of you will be amused to see. First round leader, one bet there. Henny Duplessis, 60-1, 40 pence each way. So on Sky Bet, they're paying 6 places, first round leader. I'm not taking any Duplessis in any other bets, but basically, if you look at Henny Duplessis' recent record, he's absolutely smashing it in round one, and then solid, and then he sort of doesn't quite get there. So I'm taking a chance, because if you took him in the main market, it's 50-1, 7 places. So I like 60-1, 6 places on first round leader for Henny. We're going to give it a crack. So Henny's in this week. And then the outright market, I've got 6, and you will note 3 of them are the same 3 I took last week. I am keeping faith with the 3 golfers I had last week. So in addition, we've got Aaron Cockerell, 66-1, 40 pence each way. Fabrizio Zanotti, 66-1, 40 pence each way. And then the bottom 4 are all 20 pence each way. So the same 3 we had last week: Justin Walters, Ashley Chesters, Alejandro Canizares. And then the bottom one, the new one, Angel Hidalgo. And if I was having one bet on the golf this week, probably across any tournament, I'd probably have my money for value. I'm not saying he's going to win, clearly, but for value, Angel Hidalgo, that's the best price for value I've found this week on the golf. Clearly, he'll miss the cut by a mile this week, won't he? But I'm telling you, that's what I think the best value is. So that's bet ones. That should be £4 of our £14 golf stake. So hopefully that makes sense. Then this is where more of our golf stakes go in. So I did one of these in the Masters. So this is for the Catalonia Championship. Quite a few bookmakers have got this priced up. Sky Bet is not the best place, so there are other bookmakers paying better odds than this. So have a look around if you've got the option to do other bookies. I looked at like Paddy Power, Betfair. There were obviously slightly better prices on most of these. So we've got the top English player, Ashley Chesters. They're paying 4 places, 35-1. The top South African player, we're going Justin Walters. So the same 2 we had last week, but in a different bet. That's the top 3. Then we're going top Spanish, Angel Hidalgo, that was in our single bets, 22-1, paying 3 places. And then the top French, haven't got any other bet on him, Adrien Sadier. We have taken him once before. So we've got a 20p each way, lucky 15. So most bookies, you should be able to get those markets. Some of them I haven't checked all to see which of them won't let you do multiples, because I was looking at other things like top 30, top 40 market, and most bookies weren't letting you do multiples on it. Sky Bet weren't. You could do those other places. So I've done it like this because it makes it a little bit more interesting when you've got an each way lucky 15, and it's a bit more akin to what we do on the channel. So that is bet 2 for the golf. And then the last bet of the golf is over in the States and Mexico. So Mexico Open, I've got 5 against the field, paying 7 places, just singles. So we're going back to Anaban Lahiri again, 66-1, 40p each way. We've got Pat Perez, 90-1, 40p each way. Emiliano Grillo, 100-1, 20p each way. Che Reavy, 200-1, 20p each way. And Scott Brown, 250-1, 20p each way. So those are all singles. And then in the Insperity Invitational or Champions Tour or Seniors Tour, depending on how your bookmaker marks it up, we've just got 1, but we've got 2 bets. So we've got Jeff Maggott, 150-1 in the main market, 20p each way. And I've also done an additional Jeff Maggott finishing the top 10 at 10-1, 80p win. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Any questions, or if that was too quick, ask me and I'll put it in the comments. what I would say with the golf is the first 4 weeks with the golf, we had 2 wins, really good wins in 4 weeks. And then since then, we've got either bits back or nothing back. And so I'm really just trying to slightly lower the risk, but it's also slightly lowering our chances of a big win. To try, but also try and make it more interesting. Golf is it's I mean it's up to you watching the channel. I like to just have an interest in the golf sometimes. So off the channel, horse racing is where I make most of my money. I do other bits of sports. I don't do much else with golf. I've got quite a few other bits and bobs on golf on this weekend. But I'm not saying to you I'm making a living off golf bets, because I understand the betting market in golf, but I'm horse racing is more of my thing in terms of money making. So golf, it's more about having an interest and having a bit of fun, in the way I've tried to done it on the channel. So hopefully we'll make some profit on the golf, but it's a much harder game to do it in. All right. That is what I've got. That went on a long time today. Sorry, there was a lot to go through. Hopefully you have a good day, and thank you for anyone who stayed to the end of the video. You are very kind to put up with me for 16 minutes. All right, see you in the morning. Thanks very much. Cheerio.